Our North America correspondent Lisa Millar joins us now from Washington. Lisa, good morning. The reaction from the US has been swift and it's been furious.
The flags are flying at half-mast in the capital here. That happened almost immediately. And then we heard from various leaders, including the President just then, also from the Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, who said that a lot of Americans would be asking the same question that she is asking herself, which is, how could this happen in a country that the US helped liberate? Lots of tributes to the four men involved. Two we still don't know the identities of as they're trying to contact the families, but a great deal of sympathy for the family of Chris Stevens, who has been described as a dedicated diplomat who had the interests of Libya at his very heart for many years. So a sad day here in Washington, but you're right, swift reaction as well, because we have learnt that 50 Marines are already on their way to Libya to help with protection and security around US interests there. But when you listen to the President, Michael, say that justice will be done, you also wonder what else those Marines will be doing once they get to Libya.
It's fair to assume they'll be trying to track down those responsible, but reports we're hearing from Benghazi this morning that all US residents are being moved to Tripoli suggest that it is still a very volatile situation on the ground there.
Well, on the ground there, and we're getting confusing, or not so much confusing, perhaps they're clarifying reports here, but the situation is certainly changing, because what was seen as an immediate reaction to that US-produced video, which mocked the Islamic Prophet, that it was thought to be the cause and the only cause of this. But now administration officials are starting to suggest perhaps what we saw go on in Libya was a little more planned, that it wasn't the spontaneous outbreak of anger that perhaps was seen in Cairo, because you know these two protests, one much more violent, were going on at the same time. So the suggestion is perhaps that, as the US administration officials are putting out at the moment, perhaps this was an Al-Qaeda related attack that was using the protest perhaps as a bit of a diversion, that the protest against this video was not the sole reason for the deaths. But so far to go with the investigation. You can imagine everyone is pouring their efforts into it at the moment, but it just gives you an idea, I guess, Michael, of the confusion still on the ground here in the US as people try to work out just what went on and why it went on.
And finally, Lisa, this has triggered something of a political debate in the United States between Barack Obama and Mitt Romney, the Republican candidate, facing some questions over the strategy he's employed here.
You know, it's interesting because foreign policy just hasn't made an appearance in this campaign at all. It's all been about the economy. But Mitt Romney chose pretty early to put out a statement in regards to statements that had come out from the Cairo embassy, the US embassy in Cairo. To make it as simple as possible, the Republicans are accusing the US administration of sending out mixed messages about religious freedom and this video and who was responsible, accusing them of being sympathetic to the protesters. Now, we've just learnt that Barack Obama has recorded an interview where he's hit back at Mitt Romney, suggesting that he shoots first and thinks afterwards. The general sense is that Mitt Romney has not covered himself in glory today with the way he's coped with this, but with all these events in a election campaign, sometimes it takes a little while to filter out as to just who has made points here. And unfortunately, this very tragic incident where America is mourning the deaths of these four people has been caught up in an election campaign that has just 60 days to go.
It has indeed. Lisa Millar in Washington, thank you very much for the update.